Beautiful.
Do you like my Ariana pony?
Sure. Yes.
Hello and welcome back to our podcast.
Welcome back, everybody, to our new normal. Nothing has changed, but we're here.
Mhm.
So that's all that matters, right?
Yeah.
So today we decided to switch it up a little bit. Last week we talked about Coachella, and so we could reminisce and be sad about the fact that we're not there, but
Yeah.
so we could also, I don't know, just cope with it. So this week we're switching gears. We're talking about success.
Yeah, and what makes a successful person?
Have you ever faced a difficult choice of buying avocado toast or real estate? If so, this podcast is for you. Join me and my best friend and co-host as we discuss everything from pop culture to the political climate that affects us all. This is Tag Yourself. I'm Daniel Zagorski.
And I'm Hannah Byrne.
Yeah, what we think success is, what makes someone successful, and I don't know, just anything that we sort of think or have learned so far. I mean, by no means are we experts in success. I don't really think many people are.
No.
I think there's a lot of different definitions, and I think different people define success differently.
Yeah, I agree with that, definitely.
So I think it's an interesting discussion to have.
Yeah, and what makes some people successful and other people not.
Yes, exactly. I'm sure that everyone in their life even knows, people with varying levels of ambition and various levels of success that have achieved. I just think it's something that's interesting and that people I don't tend to see people casually discuss.
Yeah, I think it's kind of just like a norm, or it's a given that everyone is supposed to have a dream or a goal, like how they want to live their life. But I don't feel that's the way for everybody. I feel some people are just content with the way that things are.
Do you think, from my perspective, I feel like there isn't enough of an emphasis on people having a goal.
Yeah.
I think the world is very inclined for someone to go, I'm out of college, I've got a job, I'm good.
Yeah. I think that's the way that it benefits society, like capitalism, because they want people to go into the rat race and just be the workers and like the worker bees. Like they don't need everyone to be the queen bee or like the big boss. There's only so many CEOs you can have of a company, which is one. So if everyone wants to be the highest level they can achieve, then that doesn't benefit people who are already successful or smart or rich.
Where was your point coming from though? Because it was the opposite that you said. You think that that there's this status quo that everyone should have a goal.
Yeah, I feel like when you're little, like that's the first thing you get asked when you're a kid is, what do you want to be when you grow up? And someone's like, yeah. And so people are like, oh, I want to be a doctor. And when you're little, you have big aspirations. Like kids want to be astronauts or like they want to be surgeons.
President of the United States.
Or a dog. But like you can't be all of your dreams.
In your case, yes, it was a dog, yeah.
But I mean, you're all always taught to I feel like it's just it's what sells movies and sells magazines and TV shows. It's like, reach for the stars, achieve your dreams.
Yeah.
Or like how they can sell self-help books, like 5 steps to financial success. Like these 5 easy steps.
Yeah. I mean, I think I'd have a bigger issue with the movies because I think a lot of the times the movies that they have that have those sort of plot lines, it's like as in, oh, this person has a dream and then they
achieve it.
They achieve the dream in the span of, the 90-minute movie.
Yeah.
When it's, to some extent, it is a bit of a sham because you end up seeing a small portion of that person's life. But that kind of movie, that's kind of like feel-good movie where it is the protagonist and they have this big dream and in the span of the 90 minutes, they reach their dream. Yeah. And really that is sort of deceiving because, like that storyline often relies on a lot of luck. Yeah. Which just doesn't occur to a lot of people in real life. Yeah. And you also don't see the amount of work that goes into working towards their dream.
That's it.
Before anything ever comes to fruition.
Because that's boring and that doesn't make for a good movie.
Of course,
so they cut it out.
Yeah, so if your protagonist, say, is an aspired singer, you won't see like the hours that they put in practicing singing. You won't see the singing lessons they did over the years. You won't see them watching so many different things about how to get big in the industry. You don't want to see them recording. You won't see them re-recording to get better voice. You just don't see any of that.
Or it's like they'll just they were a bad singer and then they have one lesson and then they're an amazing singer. It cuts from one. It's like, oh my God, she didn't realize she had that voice. It's like,
yeah. But I think it's not even just the singing. I think that happens to a lot of things like even fitness transformation things,
Yeah.
right? I think nowadays, well, the thing is, right, nobody wants to sit there and watch like 40-hour of footage
Yeah, of course
of
not.
someone getting to that.
Yeah.
I'm sure there's a different way you could tell the narrative, but again, it's all about the entertainment value of it. It's not about the educational value of it.
It's always really from one extreme to another. So they want to see like, you know, like a morbidly obese person becomes super muscular or super skinny, or the same with like those movies. It's a regular, boring, normal person becomes super famous. Or even like, you know, it's the premise of literally every high school movie, or like an ugly girl and you take off her glasses and do her hair and she's like prom queen. Like just if she put a
Yeah.
little effort in, she'd be beautiful. It's
Yeah.
like one extreme to another.
But I mean, even the thing that you mentioned, like a really overweight person
Yeah.
who goes to like skinny lose a bunch of weight.
Yeah.
Like realistically, say like even take TikTok as a platform. If you went to TikTok and you saw a TikTok where someone who was maybe 420 pounds
Yeah.
and is now like 200 pounds or
Yeah.
150 pounds, like lost loads of
Yeah.
weight, like that's obviously going to go viral because
Yeah.
people are like, oh my god,
Wow,
look at you,
look, they put
amazing,
so much hard work.
amazing. But like equally then, if you took a TikTok that was someone 420 pounds who's not at the end of their journey but is progressing and is
Yeah.
maybe now on 400 pounds, that's still 20 pounds, that's still progress, but no one's going to make that go viral.
No, who cares to see
Because
that
people
you're
don't care about progress, people care about results.
That's it.
And I think that's the biggest issue with
Yeah.
success. People put way too much emphasis on results
Yeah.
and not enough emphasis on progress.
Yeah, I actually have a point there, and I was reading an article earlier about like the habits of highly successful people or their mindset, and one of the points is actually that they are more excited about the journey than the final payout. So for you to be like more invested in having a good journey and that you're getting to those points in a good, successful, strong way,
Yeah.
then that's going to be more fulfilling to you than the payout at the end.
Yeah, and I think understanding that is a hugely important thing, because if you're excited about the journey and not just the result, that's sustainable.
Yeah.
Because say you're someone who's solely focused on the result.
Yeah.
And say you do manage to get your result, right? You get to the goal, whatever it was. Say, I don't know, it was 1 million subscribers or a $1 million in your bank account, whatever that is. Say you reach that result. Now you've reached it, and now without having to learn how to appreciate the process and learn from it,
Yeah.
I would see that person like coming to a halt,
Yeah.
and not really knowing what to do
Yeah,
there.
because they got to the goal and now what? Whereas if they'd appreciate how they got there and they're worth planning, then they know the right steps to get that to 2 million or 10 million or whatever their next goal is, because they've paid attention to the steps they were taking.
Yeah, and I think if you're, paying attention to the journey, you begin to understand what's important beyond just the goal, right?
Yeah.
Because the goal is an imaginary goalpost.
Yeah.
Like it's nothing more than just this imaginary line in the sand that you drew,
Yeah.
that you want to get to. And it's nothing more than that.
Yeah, that's true. And I mean, you also need to set real goals that are accomplishable, that you can actually get to. Because if you set a goal that is so far in the future or so impossible, you'll never get there. Or if you want to set a goal that's far, you need to make certain steps. You need to be able to have a plan that has mini goals within that. So your goal could be to have $1 million, but then you have a goal how to get $100, how to get 1,000, how to get 10,000. If you say, I want to go from no dollars in my bank account to $1 million with no game plan or no like rewardable steps to be like, okay, I achieved this level. It's like level up, level up, level up. Like you can't go from 0 to 100.
Yeah, I mean, I think there's a misconception about goal setting sometimes to some extent, where you need to have this big, massive goal that you need to reach. And in reality, that's not possible, because I think what you're doing by breaking big goals into smaller goals is it almost pushes you to make a plan out of it.
Yeah.
Right? Because if I sit here and I say, I want to see $1 million in my bank account.
Yeah.
Well, $1 million is a lot of money.
Yeah.
I can't even begin to comprehend how I'm going to get to $1 million.
Yeah, no.
So I can sit here all I want all day long, 24/7, 7 days a week, 360 days a year, and be like, I want $1 million in my bank account.
Yeah.
But how am I gonna get there? Literally, I have no clue.
Yeah.
But then what if I say, you know what? I want to, maybe by the end of this year, I'd like to have 10K in my savings, in my bank account.
Yeah.
But then maybe at the end of this month, I would like to have 500 euros in my bank account, savings wise.
Yeah.
Whether that's from my salary or from some external source as well, like a side income, And then I'm like, okay, 500 a month. How can I do that? what's my existing salary? Okay, this is how much I can save. So
Mm.
how short am I of 500?
Yeah.
Okay, where can I make that
Make the extra
left
money.
over?
Yeah.
I think that kicks your brain into gear and starts thinking of, okay, well, how
Ideas.
do I achieve the smaller goal so that I can keep moving
Yeah.
towards that bigger goal?
And then you think, once you get to those, say like the 10K, you think, well, how can I make my money work for me? Can I invest it? Can I look into another way to make this money grow? Can I put it into a bank account where there's a higher level of interest? So your money will gain interest for you just by sitting in the bank, you know? That way you make your money work for you.
Yeah, no, yeah, exactly. And I think, yeah, you work your brain a lot more when you do that as opposed to just $1 million.
Dreaming of $1 million, yeah.
You start thinking about things differently, I think, and you just start questioning. And also, like, once you have those smaller goals, every time you reach them, you get a dopamine hit. Like, you just have to. It's
you
your
get
goal.
Fulfillment. You feel fulfilled.
You feel fulfilled. You feel like you've done something. You feel proud of yourself.
Accomplished.
And you get that second wind. So, you know, if you were like, oh, you know, I don't know, maybe I'll be able to get that 500 at the end of the month, but it's been really hard.
Yeah.
And then you actually manage it. You're like,
yeah,
okay, I did it.
Yeah. And
I can do that again.
What's to say I can't do more?
Exactly. And I guess that kind of maybe segues a little bit into, I want to talk about, what would you define as a successful person?
Yeah. I think for me, a successful person, like something like that we've already talked about, as somebody who can set goals for themselves and reach those goals. I think to truly be successful, you also need to be happy with yourself and happy with the amount of work that you've put in. I feel if you make a mediocre attempt at something, even if that mediocre thing does well,
expect mediocre results.
That's it.
A lot of the time, yeah.
You're not going to be proud of that anyway, and therefore you're not going to push and work harder on it. If you put in really hard work and you're determined and you keep striving to obtain better results than what you have, you're gonna eventually get there. It's a lot to do with your personality type as well. I think you need to be determined and you need to be resilient, and someone who's successful also needs to set themselves up for failure, and that they will work through those failures, because you can't make any steps forward without making steps backwards. But it's to not get knocked down when you hit those points. You know, you learn from your mistakes and you better yourself instead of taking them as a hit and saying, that's it, I can't reach my goal, it's not going to happen for me.
Yeah, I mean, I think it's almost impossible to reach any goal without some sort of failure along the way.
What about you? What do you think is a successful person? Would you say there's any other personality traits, or would you define success differently?
Well, I think a lot of people can really easily go to like the most obvious definition that's like, oh, successful person, someone like Bill Gates, Steve Jobs, someone who made a lot of money. And is living comfortably in terms of materialistic terms. But I don't necessarily think that indicates a successful person. Like, there's plenty of rich people who didn't do anything to gain that wealth. They were just born into it, you know? I wouldn't say that's a successful person.
No.
Like someone like Jeffree Star, yes, absolutely. That's a successful person. He built himself up, and he clearly understands how to pursue goals and how to reach them and how to fail as well.
Yeah, definitely.
So I think a successful person knows failure inside and out, understands it, and knows how to react to it without being completely dissuaded from their goal. Like, of course, anytime you fail, like it would just be a lie to say that you're not going to get hurt by it. Of course, especially if it's a goal that you care a lot about. Of course you're going to get disheartened. But it's about knowing how to progress through that and learn from it and do better next time. And I think a successful person is someone who knows themselves. Or is willing to continuously learn new things about themselves. Right? Because, like, you could sit 20 people in a room and you could say, okay, great, all of y'all become successful. Right? But the issue is that each one of those people is going to have a different definition of success. You know? One of those people, for them, success is going to be owning a lot of acres and having a farm that is sustainable and where he can live and literally not have to buy any produce, and he's just self-sustainable, right? Another person's definition of success would be having 5 million followers on Instagram. You know? The next person's definition of success would be a successful screenwriter who has a movie that runs at, I don't know, Cannes Film Festival or Hollywood, whatever, you know?
And it can even be something just as normal as like wanting to have a house and a family, like have a nice house that you own and you've paid the mortgage off.
Exactly, like owning a house.
And raise a family
and having 3 kids or a dog and a cat, whatever.
Being able to provide for them,
you know?
Give them a good life.
I think that's the thing that people I don't know, I feel like people have this misconception that success is just wealth.
Yeah.
But I think it's different for every person.
Yeah.
And I think it's important to
Acknowledge
recognize
that.
that people have very different definitions of success.
Yeah.
So if someone is not out here trying to get subscribers on YouTube or followers on Instagram or trying to amass big things of wealth, you know, that doesn't necessarily mean that they're not pursuing their version of success.
Yeah.
So
I think it's like success and dreams, they really go together, dreams and goals and success, like, because everyone's dreams are different, and that means everyone's goal to get to that dream is different. So what you measure success in, it's very hard. There's no way to measure success.
Yeah,
I think it's much more of a personal thing. If you feel fulfilled. Yeah.
In terms of, like, say if you had to pick one trait that you think is the most important to have for someone who wants to be successful, what do you think that trait would be?
I actually have written down, I think I wrote down 9 or 10 different traits that I think a successful person has.
I mean, we can discuss them all, but first, if you had to choose just one,
let me have a look.
What would it be?
I think probably the most important one would be a strong sense of self.
Yeah.
To know yourself and to have, another one I wrote down was confidence, but to have confidence in your ideas and your own abilities.
I guess you could probably mesh that into one, right? Having a strong sense of self would probably mean that you're self-confident and you know your self-worth. Yeah.
Because if you don't believe in your dreams, why would anybody else? Like, if you don't believe in the power of your dreams and success and the product you're trying to sell or the concept you're trying to make big, whether that's yourself as an influencer or your company or whatever it is your definition of success, if you don't have the confidence and the self-belief that you can reach that goal and that you can make that thing worth something to you or other people, then why would anyone else give you the time of day and listen to you when you're trying to pitch that idea to others, or you're trying to push your idea above everyone else's to make it the most successful?
I would add to that though, and also sort of on the opposite spectrum, I would say that having that self-confidence would mean that you are secure enough so that if someone criticizes you, you can either take it on if it's a valid criticism, or you have the strength to stand up and say, no, actually, you mistook what I was saying. And this is actually my idea.
Have a thick skin and be able to brush it off as well. Like, do not get demoralized by people's criticism, to take it with a pinch of salt. Take it if it's... But
also totally understand it if it's valid. And because then you can take that and run with it and improve on whatever your idea is.
Oh, yeah, definitely.
The one that I think is the most important for someone to have is, I think, perseverance/consistency.
Resiliency.
Because I think consistency is one of the biggest things that you need to have whenever you reach any goal. Because, like, a goal is rarely going to be reached by you just doing it on and off, here, there, and again, and putting low effort into it. Like, even if you take fitness, into account, if you go to the gym twice 1 week and then don't go for 2 weeks and then go back again and do like a day and then, you know, it's on and off, you're never going to reach the sort of goals you want to reach.
That's it. It's just not achievable. It's not going to happen. It needs to be
and
consistent over time.
That can be translated into anything. Like, if you want to build a house, it'll take you a long, long time if you're kind of building it and then not building it, you know. And then same thing with, like, say, YouTube even, right? You upload one video once, it doesn't do as well as you want it to, and then you leave it for 3 weeks, and then maybe you upload another one, and then you don't really improve on anything, and you know, that's the thing with goals. Like, you really need to have a goal that you're passionate about enough that you're just going to push through.
That you will work hard for it.
But I guess that ties into, like, having to know yourself and having the belief.
Having confidence in yourself.
Because if you have the confidence in your dream and the confidence in yourself, it'll be a lot easier for you to stand up for yourself and your dream. Did you have anything else on there?
I guess these ones go together, kind of to be goal-orientated and just have the desire to improve. So not to settle with what you have or what you've done. Know that you can always make it better or make it bigger.
Okay, so for example, you know, we know people in our life that don't seem to have goals. Or don't seem to have
dreams.
Aspirations, right? They're sort of just happy where they are, and they don't seem to want to progress onto anything else. Is it the case that those people don't have any goals? Like, is it that they're happy where they are? Like, why are some people like that, right? Because for me, you know, even if I woke up tomorrow, right, and I was where I wanted to be, so say I was an actor and I had plenty of money and I owned a house, and I was a writer, published writer, if I had all of those things, I would still have goals.
Yeah, you'd still want more.
I would be like, I want to learn Spanish, I want to learn Italian, I want to travel to this place, I want to be better at boulder. I would still have many other goals.
Yeah.
So to me, it's just very difficult to understand people who don't seem to have those aspirations.
Yeah. I find that difficult too. Like, I don't understand someone could work their 9 to 5 job, come home, sit on the couch and watch TV, eat dinner, go to bed, and then do the same thing again, Monday to Friday, and wait for the weekend and go and party or do something enjoyable, and then go back and do it all again. Like, just being stuck in the rat race. Like, it doesn't have to be like that. I don't know why some people choose to not pursue other things outside of the lot they're given in life. Do you think, like, maybe they're scared, or they just don't have the aspirations?
I don't know. Like, I really, truly don't know. And
it's also something you can't really discuss with people, because it's kind of like,
it
might offend them.
Yeah.
If you say, you don't appear to have any goal in life, what are you doing?
Yeah, and I'm like, it could be a case that they don't share it, or like, again, it's just like a sensitive, like, how do you bring that up with someone, without seeming, I don't know, disrespectful or rude.
Yeah.
But in reality, I'm just curious. Like, do you genuinely not have any aspirations?
Yeah.
Which, I mean,
are you fulfilled? Are you happy with your life? They might be.
And I mean, someone working 9 to 5 might be happy. Like, they might be doing their dream job, which is, totally fine.
Yeah.
But even, there is goals to be had outside of the workplace.
Yeah.
Like, whether that's you being better at making drinks or cooking something, like, anything,
And from what I've seen, the people that I do know that are like that, when they do have goals outside of, like, they're not very consistent. Like, some of the people we know enjoy fitness, but again, they only do it off and on, and then they complain they don't see results. Quite a few people I know are like that.
Yeah, and then what happens is they drop off and they stop doing it.
Yeah.
But I think that's what happens to a lot of people. I think, a lot of people have goals. Like, I think most people have goals.
Yeah,
I think that's the thing.
Dreams. We're all taught to have dreams. I don't think there's many humans alive who don't.
I think just through evolution, we have to be goal oriented. Yeah. Otherwise, like, we just wouldn't.
We would die. You just lie down and die. What's the point of continuing every day of your 18 plus year life if nothing happens in it?
Yeah, but I think what happens to a lot of people is, I think, like I said, I think a lot of people misunderstand how success happens.
Yeah.
Because like we do see those stories where it's like, oh, this person blew up overnight and like went viral.
Sensation.
Like, let's say we took a YouTuber, for example, right?
Yeah.
So let's say this person blows up, their video blows up, and like they get 1 million subscribers now. And you could say, like, for someone else, that might be like, oh, that's a success, right? But the thing is, that person, what everyone else doesn't see is the fact that that person could have been making videos for years and been getting close to no recognition for them, been stagnant in subscriber count so many times. Like, there could have been so many times that person uploaded a video that they really believed in and thought it was a good video, and it just completely tanked, and they got like maybe 50 views. But we don't see that. We're like, oh my god, their video blew up overnight. Like, they've got like 1 million subscribers now.
They're so lucky. Look, they didn't even have to do anything. One video got popular.
But it's like, most of the time, that's really not how it works. Like, because for that person to have that video go viral, they had to have made all of those hundreds of videos to learn how to make that video so good that's why it blew up. Like, yes, of course, there's an element of luck in it.
Yeah.
But they also did all that work in the background.
That's it. And then sometimes you get the opposite of that, where something completely random blows up and someone ends up with a huge amount of followers, and then they have no idea what to do, because it was just something that...
And they can't sustain and they lose it.
That's it. Because they don't know what it was that made that so good. It was literally something random. They got one-off lucky fluke, and the rest of their videos or content is crap because they don't know what to do, and then they do the same thing over and over again with no results, because they don't change anything, and they think, oh, this one got me famous, I'll make them all like this one that got me famous.
And I think we've all seen that. Like, we've seen someone get slightly big overnight, and then if you look back, like, even a month later, you're like, who was that? What happened to them? If you don't have that journey, that work ethic set up before that happens, you're not going to be able to hold on to that. And if you are, it's only because you get help from external sources.
That's it.
So, like, if you get lucky and you blow up maybe an agent or someone will
Can
reach
help
out to
you.
you, pick you
Yeah.
up, and then you have someone to guide you through that and help you sustain it.
Yeah.
But if you don't, it is very, like, I know we're talking solely within the social media space here, but it's easy to make examples of that.
Yeah.
Like, it's the same thing if you just came into like a load of money right now.
So you won the lottery.
With zero guidance, right? Let's just imagine you have zero guidance on it. What is the likelihood of you being able to keep that and sustain it and grow it, right? Like, you could probably retire and be like, I'm going to live a minimalism life where I just make this million stretch for the rest of my life. You could probably try that. You might be able to succeed. But to grow it, it's complicated. People literally do degrees at universities to know how to manage money. You know, investing,
stockbrokers
can be so complicated, you know,
and then things can happen, like this virus and things tank.
Exactly. And it's unpredictable. And like, you know, real estate can also be complicated, and you run into new complications when you start managing properties. So that's the thing. If you don't have that ground build up, that years of work beforehand, it's going to be very difficult if your just dream goal gets handed to you. Coming back to the success thing, you need the groundwork.
Definitely.
To make it work. And I think another misconception around it is that people expect results with minimal effort. People also expect results when they do the same thing over and over again. You know? And I think that's a lesson that a lot of people have to learn. And also because we live in such an age where everything is basically a click away. That it's just, a lot of people don't have that worked up resilience to just keep going and switching things up. Like, I want to buy, I don't know, a snack. I want to buy a treadmill. I want to do something. I would just want to buy something. I just go to Amazon, do 3 clicks, and it's coming to my house. Right? Like, I want to laugh. I go on TikTok, just scroll, like things.
And
you
it's
know?
right there. It's like immediate gratification. Oh, it's like long-term gratification, where you have a goal in mind and you think, if I work hard for a year and a half and I put away all this money, then in a year and a half I can afford a car. Or you think, oh, you know what, I'd really like a takeout tonight. I'll spend 30 euros on that.
So people would do that a lot, where they're like, oh, you know, I could buy a takeout today and it's $30, or I could wait
put that
2
in
weeks
my bank account.
or 2 months, and I'll have enough to go on this vacation that I want to go, like my dream vacation, right? It's about what you prioritize. And to bring that back to the idea of success, the thing with goals is, the ones that you reach are the ones that you prioritize. So realistically, when it comes to fitness, a lot of people always say, you know, I want to get fit, I want to lose weight, I want to put on muscle, but they don't prioritize it. Meaning, I want to lose weight, but my friend's coming over tonight, so I'm going to skip the gym. You know? So it's like, you're not going to get anywhere if you allow other things to take priority.
That's true. Definitely.
You know? And like this quarantine, we've been stuck in this house for, I think, 4 weeks now at this stage. I think it is. And like, could we sit here and like watch Gossip Girl and watch Vampire Diaries and watch the entirety of Netflix nonstop and do nothing else? Yeah, we absolutely could. And I could play video games and I could do all the things that I enjoy and just could
chill out,
be lazy and chill out. I could do that for 4 weeks straight. But no, because I want to get bigger on YouTube. I want to like get bigger on TikTok. Like, I want to do stuff. I have goals. So I've been recording YouTube videos. I've been recording these podcasts. I've been doing TikToks literally every single day. And like,
and I've been editing all of them.
You have. And like, if I'm making it sound like a chore, I'm sorry. I do actually genuinely enjoy posting TikToks. I think they're funny as hell and they're fun to make. So I enjoy it. But it is still work. Right? Like, you could have a job that you love. It's still work.
That's it.
You know? You know, sometimes you'd still much rather just turn off that damn camera. And just go lay in the bed and watch Gossip Girl. You know? But no.
It's what your priorities
Exactly.
are. That's what it comes
I'm going to prioritize. I have all this free time. So let's use it wisely. Let me set myself up for when we're back to work and I don't have as much time. You know?
I think also success also it has a lot dependent on the people you surround yourself with. Because if you surround yourself with toxic people, people who are not succeeding themselves and who don't want to succeed, they don't want to see other people succeed because then they feel mediocre. They'll
but
bring
also,
you down.
In terms of toxic people, you can also have people around you who want to keep you less successful than them. You know? Or who will only surround themselves with you because they view you as less successful, which in turn makes them look more successful. You know? So if you ever have a friend that makes you feel like they're not rooting for you and they're not excited about you making progress towards
Yeah.
your goals, you need to either have a serious chat with that friend, or you just need to find better friends.
Definitely.
Say, for example, you and me, right?
Yeah.
I want, like, the thing is, when you care about someone, you want them to succeed. You want
Yeah.
the best for them, right? My dream is to do social media full time,
Yeah.
right? If suddenly Hannah, for some reason, somehow blew up on social media and like her Instagram got 100K followers, I wouldn't be like, oh, well, why are you getting 100K followers? Like,
Yeah.
you're not even doing it. Like, I'll be like, well, that's fantastic.
Yeah,
Fair
good
play.
job,
Now,
well
like,
done. We can
like,
work
okay, let's
together
make
and-
sure, not even like, let's work together so I
Yeah.
can hijack it, but like,
Yeah.
like you like make sure that you like do stuff to like sustain that,
Yeah.
to work with it if that's what you want to do. Like,
Yeah.
fair play, that's awesome.
Yeah.
You know, you want to build the other person up,
Yeah.
and like that doesn't mean you can't criticize what people do.
Yeah.
But only if you're doing it in a constructive manner.
Definitely.
You know?
Definitely.
And like there's also people around you who make everything about themselves.
Yes.
You know, there is place to talk about other people, but in terms of talking about that person's experience
Yeah.
and their journey,
Yeah, and how
like,
you can learn from that.
absolutely,
Maybe like, oh, not what to do, but not like, oh, that was shit, that was bad. Like,
not
oh,
to gossip.
yeah, just to be like, well, that didn't succeed because of this reason. Like, what could they have done differently? Which is what me and Daniel always do when we're
Yeah.
discussing like a YouTuber or a celebrity or a piece of content we've seen, and we'll sit and discuss, oh, this was good about this, but they could have made it better if they did it this way.
Yeah, or like even if you take someone like Jeffree Star, like you could sit here and be like, you know, complain about all the controversies and all that, but you could also sit and be like, you know, Jeffree Star, you know, how did he get so successful? What
Yeah.
did he do that made it work for him
Yeah.
so well?
Yeah.
Because realistically, Jeffree Star is a genius when
Yeah.
it comes to customer relations,
Yeah.
when it comes to, you know,
Marketing.
publicity, marketing.
Everything.
He's, you know,
He's made a brand for himself, a literal brand.
yeah, but like
Jeffree Star approved it's like,
yeah, exactly. But like that's the thing. You can look at people and talk about them in that way,
Yeah.
in terms of discussing how you can learn from them,
yeah.
rather than, you know, turn them down and gossiping about
Yeah.
them. Me and Hannah have done this thing over the last few months where we decided to just pay attention whenever we speak to someone else, how much they talk about themselves
Yeah.
versus
Don't play this game if you don't want to see
be disappointed.
how many people don't listen to you.
Like what I've learned is just that so many people are just so self-absorbed and probably
Yeah.
don't even realize.
Yeah.
Because so what we do is we'll just have a conversation, and of course we're having a conversation, so we're like, how are you doing?
Yeah.
What's the news with you?
Yeah.
And then we just watch and just take mental note of how many times those people ask about us
Yeah.
and what is going on with our
Yeah.
lives.
I'll throw it back to you.
And it's been really hugely disappointing because you know there's a lot of people that I really even like, you know, that are good friends or that I really enjoy chatting to,
Yeah.
that I've just really truly discovered that they really don't reciprocate conversations
No.
very well.
They talk about themselves a lot.
Yeah,
And even if they do manage to bring it back to you and ask a question, it's
it's very short-lived because they
It's
bring it back to themselves
like
again.
they listen so they can wait for you to finish so they can
so
talk
they can start
again.
talking again. Yeah. So
It's
that
not active listening.
so honestly, play like at your own risk.
Yeah.
Because it really truly is disappointing, and it's not something that you can easily bring up with people
No.
either.
Without them getting highly offended.
You know, because like even recently we sent a video that we did that we're very very proud of doing. Like we worked quite hard to make it as good as we could make it, and we sent it to a friend, and their response was that they should do the same thing.
Yeah.
That
no compliments.
that I should
nothing
have
like
challenged
well done.
them to do this.
Yeah.
And that like not a single word of, oh, that was really funny, I really enjoyed the video, well
Yeah.
done you guys.
Yeah.
It was just like, oh, I need to do this challenge.
Yeah, I need to copy you now.
And like, you know, he like that person could have said that, but after they said, oh, you know, that was really funny.
Yeah.
Thanks for sending that, guys.
Yeah,
or like,
that's
well
inspired
done.
me to do something
You
similar.
know? No, but like, you know,
Yeah.
even just like, I can tell you guys worked hard on that. Like, that was
Yeah.
funny, you know? Like, it's literally
Not a
a single
word.
sentence about it
Yeah.
before delving into, oh, I. I think, honestly, I do think that successful people are able to listen.
Yeah.
I think I think that's how that goes back to it.
Yeah.
A successful person will listen because they understand that other people have valuable contributions. And like, if you feel that that might be you, like if you start recognize that in yourself, that you're talking a lot about yourself and not
Yeah.
asking other people, I think that's a great thing to recognize because
Yeah.
then you can work on changing it.
Yeah.
And just to tell you, the studies have been done to show that in a conversation, if the other person feels like they've spoken more, they will feel like that was a successful conversation.
Yeah.
You know? So if you're trying to woo someone, if you're trying to network, then you keep asking the other person questions.
Yeah, definitely.
You know? Because you want to keep them talking for as long as possible.
Yeah.
But you need to be aware of that to do that.
That's it, definitely.
Because I feel like a lot of people, when they network, they'll feel this need to like, oh, I need to go on this whole spiel about what I do.
My product,
I need to impress these people. And like, you need a line, you need an opener, of course. You need to know what, like, these people need to know what you do.
Yeah.
But then you need to let them talk.
Oh, yeah.
Because humans are self-absorbed.
Yeah. You want to find out, well, what's, tell me about your company, or what do your production team do, or blah, blah, blah. And then you weave yourself back into that conversation by being like, oh, I feel like my product would work great for you guys. Or my video, actually, my brand really aligns with you guys' kind of message. Like, maybe we could work it. Like, it's building together. Whereas if you've not listened to them and you have no idea about them, how can you sell yourself or whatever it is you're giving?
That pitch doesn't even have to happen at the first meeting. And I would say in most cases, it's not appropriate for it to happen. No. So what you need to do is you need to read the room. Yeah. But to do that, you need to listen to what the other person is saying to you. Yeah. Because if they're talking to you about their company and they're saying, currently we're just in this phase of growth, we're not looking to collaborate with any external
then
sources.
Don't push yourself.
It's not on you to then go, oh, my product will work, because clearly you're not listening to them, and immediately they've lost interest and respect for you.
That's it.
And it's also not on you to go, oh, that's an invaluable contact, and just walk away.
Yeah, that's it.
Because yes, they're doing that right now, but if you talk to them and you build a good rapport with them, and you now have them as a contact, down the line, they might think, oh, this person, I talked to them, I should call them because now our company wants to do this. Yeah. No, you need to, like, of course, get across who you are and what you're offering. Yeah. But then you need to be a person.
That's it.
Converse and listen to what the other people are saying, and don't just push your agenda. Yeah. And that's what a lot of people do in conversations, push their own agenda. But anyway, moving on from that point, because I could rant about that for years. What's another thing you had on your list?
Another thing I have here is that successful people accept responsibility and they don't blame other people when they fail.
A lot of people find it easier to blame outside sources. And like, everyone has tendency to that, and I feel like most people fall into that by default. I think it takes work. Like, I don't think it's just an automatic switch. You're like, oh yeah, no, like now I want just blame everything else, but I'll blame
That's it. Yeah, you need to take responsibility and realize that making excuses doesn't get you anywhere, and it doesn't also get much respect for you from other people. If all they hear is you making excuses for why you can't do something, why don't you tell people why you can do something?
Yeah, like at work, if you make a mistake, if a boss sees you making excuses and blaming someone else, it's really not gonna get you a lot of respect. I'd say a lot more respect will be gained if you just say, yes, that was me. I'm really sorry. It happened because, whatever.
Yeah, X, Y, and Z.
And just take the responsibility for it.
And then they want others to succeed, not wanting others to fail. Like, that's...
Yeah. Well, I think, I think it's easy for a lot of people to default into like a scarcity mindset, which is like, there's only enough money for me to get successful, or there's only enough subscribers for me to get famous on YouTube, where in reality, that scarcity, that's just a concept in our heads that is ingrained in us just because of the way society is set up. Like, I really, it's not like there's only enough pounds that you can lose and someone else can't lose them, otherwise you won't lose them, like, so it is good to be rooting for other people, and I think it also puts you in a more positive mindset. And when I think sometimes people look at other people who have succeeded with like not vengeful, but like
they resent them.
They resent them because they're like, yo, why don't I have this, But like,
it's the same with kind of like jealousy, like, why do you have that and I don't?
Yeah, but also it's kind of like, yes, sometimes maybe someone just got lucky and they were in the same situation as you and all that happened was luck. But a lot of the times it's other things as well. Yeah. And when you just look at someone and say, oh, why did they have that but I don't? You're doing a big disservice to yourself. Yeah. Because you could be looking at them and saying, that's really amazing that they've done that. Yeah. That's incredible.
How can I get that?
Now, what have they done that maybe I could learn from? Yeah. That I could translate to my own work in order to, progress.
Definitely.
Yeah. Like even Jeffree Star, you could look at him, he came from nothing. You could go, what did he do that really captured people's attention? Yeah. That really made him like who he is today. Yeah. You need to learn from these people And, to some extent also give respect for the amount of work they've put in, because a lot of the time they've put in a shit ton of work.
Yeah.
Like, you could look at Jeffree Star now and you're like, oh, he's in his $20 million mansion in Hidden Hills, and he has 6 Pomeranians, and he's got all these companies and all these properties,
vote for the designer clothes.
and he has such an easy life. But he's come from nothing.
Yeah.
He had a tiny ass apartment.
Yeah.
And he slept on a mattress, and he had, I don't know if he had a shitty upbringing, but like he had a strained relationship with his mother, and like he has been through it, and what he did is he fucking probably worked his ass off to get to where he is now. And the thing is, he probably still works his ass off. Like, yes, I'm sure he has all these people that do things for him, just because one person cannot do it all.
That's it.
He's still doing videos, he's still entertaining people, and I think a big thing that really annoys me is when people just say that social media is not a full-time job.
Yeah.
But like, if you're someone like Jeffree Star, the amount of Instagram stories that he puts up, tweets,
Snapchats,
just interaction with fans, like that takes it out of you. Like, it's nice to interact with people, but at the same time, you have this stress of, I don't know how many million people you have on Instagram, but like, whatever it is, like, that's millions of people whose eyes are on you. So realistically, every time he does a story, every time he shares a part of his life, he has to think about all of what he's posting. Is that consistent with my brand? Is there anything in there that could potentially cause issues for me or my businesses?
Cause a scandal.
Like, is there anything in my background that I shouldn't be showing? Am I presentable? Like, just all of these things that you have to think of. You have to be on. Like, it's not as easy as you coming onto your story to your friends being like, I'm just here in the house doing nothing. Like, he engages with it's his business. It's his work. He goes on Instagram, it's work. And he doesn't just do that from 9 to 5. Like, you work overtime hours.
And also, Jeffree's, like, his social media is the smallest part of what he does.
Oh,
in all honesty. He has the makeup line, he owns properties, he has marijuana production companies as well.
Like, he owns a makeup company, and he also does merch for a lot of other people. Like, all of that. Like, of course, he's not physically handling those things himself, but he has to be there for the meetings that make decisions. He has to be there to test, like, new shades.
I mean, you saw everything that went into the Shane palette, and that's one palette.
That's one palette.
He makes entire ranges of all the types of makeup,
and he
all
constantly
the
has products that are always up.
Yeah.
I'm sure issues come up with that. I'm sure issues come up with suppliers. And then you have to find a different supplier that can provide you with the same quality product. Like, there's just so much.
But that's only a glimpse of the entire process behind one product,
Yeah, and also, actually, that brings me to another thing in terms of success. I think there's sometimes a misconception that once you get to this goal, like this big goal that you have, like, say, for example, 1 million subscribers or $1 million in your bank account, people think, oh, yeah, well, I made it. That's it. Like, I can just sit back and relax. But in reality, that's the time when you really start working. That's the time when it ramps up, because the stakes are so much higher now.
That's it.
You've got 1 million subscribers. Like, you need to now keep that.
And get
keep those people entertained.
Get 20
keep
million.
Growing. Like, it doesn't stop.
Yeah.
That's the point, I think. And that's, I think, where a lot of people burn out, because they don't realize it.
Yeah.
It's hard. So they'll work so hard to get to this goal, and then they get there and they're like, oh, I can now sit back.
Yeah.
But then they'll see it start losing what they just gained.
Yeah.
All right. Well, to finish it off, why don't you give us one person, or like, it doesn't have to be one person, but at least one person who inspires you and he keeps you motivated, and give us what you think is like the most useful tip on how to be more productive or how to stay on track for your goals.
I think people that inspire me are the Dolan twins, because although, like, I know a lot of people don't care about them or think they're kind of have had their time in the spotlight or whatever, whenever I see them, they're constantly working on something new or something different. And I think if you try hard and you don't let yourself just stop at a certain goal, and you try and branch out into different areas, like all different influencers and YouTubers, some of them try to do that and it's not successful. But I think if you put all your eggs in one basket and then that becomes too much for you, that's when you fail. And that's what I've seen happen to other YouTubers. Whereas if you try and branch out and you decide to make products or merch, or you have a company, or you have a podcast, you're dividing your attention between different things. And And they're not perfect, but they are people who inspire me because they have worked hard to get to where they are now. And they're still very young, so they still have the rest of their lives to do whatever they want and become more successful in different ways. They were only teenagers when they got super famous, like 14, 15. And I think that's admirable that they didn't just spend all the money they made from Vine or YouTube and throw it all away on stupid things. You know, they clearly have some common sense and were raised right to make smart decisions. So they inspire me. And another person that inspires me is you, because you always push towards your goals and you work really hard to achieve the things that you want. And because you're in such close proximity to me, you inspire me like every day to work hard and to not get downhearted and to keep working towards things that I might have given up on a long time ago. So there's that. On how to be more productive, I think one of the main things is to keep a positive mindset. Because if you sit here thinking, woe is me, everything is bad, like I can't make this happen, you're never going to make it happen. It's a lot to do with your mindset and your belief in your dreams. And if you really want something, I know it sounds so cheesy and someone's like, if you want something hard enough, if you want something bad enough, you'll get there. But it's true. If you work hard enough and you keep striving and you keep getting up every time you get knocked down and you push through, eventually you will get there and achieve your goal. The only way you couldn't is if you gave up and you didn't try hard enough.
Yep. And at the very least, if it takes ages to get to where you want to be, you should enjoy the journey, because you should be doing something that you enjoy anyway.
Yeah, that's true. What about you?
Well, we've already talked at length about Jeffree Star, so he's one of the people that inspires me. But I've already talked about him at length. So the other person that inspires me is Bernie Sanders.
Oh, yeah.
Because you might say, you know, he didn't win the primary in 2016. The odds were stacked against him. Everyone worked hard against him.
Yeah.
And he didn't win the primary this time around. Same thing. People would much rather have 4 more years of Trump than Bernie Sanders. Of course, I had to make it political again. You know me. But I would say that if you ask Bernie Sanders if he succeeded in what he wanted to do, he would say he succeeded 3 times over.
Yeah.
Because in 2016, he built a massive, massive, massive movement of people.
Yeah.
And really, really, truly scared the establishment. Like, they were frantic to do anything to stop him from winning.
Yeah.
You know, he amassed so many followers and brought so many new people into the political discourse that would have otherwise literally not bothered.
Yeah.
Incredible. He did that, you know, and he released a book and he came back around again and did the same thing. And you could say he didn't win, but the thing is, in 2016, everyone was like, universal healthcare, we could never do that. Like, all of these things that he was talking about, like, people were just like, no, we couldn't do that.
Yeah.
But then in the end, he pushed Hillary Clinton way to the left.
Yeah.
And this time around, all of the candidates were talking about the same things. They're like, oh, we need to get these things, you know, as if they were the norm. But that's because Bernie Sanders made it the norm in 2016.
Yeah.
And he brought the conversation to the left, and he's going to continue to do the same thing.
And he inspires people.
And, you know, yes, and it just, he feels like genuinely the only politician who is, like, whose sole goal is really, truly to help the other people.
Yeah.
You know, to help the people that really need the help the most.
Yeah.
So, and that's, from my perspective, I think, of course, I could be wrong, but I think that was his goal, that was his dream, to do everything in his mind possible to make change.
Yeah.
And make it better for people. Yeah. And that's what he's been doing, and he's been succeeding, and he's going to continue to do the same work. So he inspires me because, like, I cannot imagine how difficult it has been for him in 2016 and 2020.
Yeah.
Like, he's not young to be doing all of that work and to have so much opposition.
Yeah.
And so many people smearing you and writing inaccurate articles about you and just spreading nasty rumors about, like, I just can't imagine. And he's just dealt with that incredibly gracefully. And honestly, like, I don't know a single other person who could handle that the way he has. So he's an inspiration. Now, in terms of a tip on how to be more productive, I would say you have to know what works for you. Yeah. Everyone is different, you know? You might need to make a plan, you know? That might work for you. Or it might be like, okay, I'm going to stop doing what I'm doing right now, and I'm going to go do something productive. Yeah. Figure out what works for you and then make it work for you. Yeah. You know, for me, I like to make a plan the night before, so that when I wake up, I know exactly what I'm doing.
Yeah.
So I can jump straight into it without even like trying to fight with myself, you know? Because if I don't make a plan, I get up in the morning, I'm like, oh, well, I have to probably record a podcast, but like I'll just do that at some point today. You know?
Yeah.
It's pointless. I'll make a list, then I get up, then I'll get through my to-do list, and then I can do whatever the hell I want.
Yeah.
So find what works for you, and then do that. And then do that again and again, every day.
Until you get
until
to where
you
you want
start
to be.
making progress.
Yeah.
And then keep going. Okay.
Yeah.
I think that's a good time to end. As always, thank you guys so much for listening.
Yeah.
You know, there could be one person listening, there could be 5, there could be 50. I don't care. I hope we can help at least one person.
Yeah.
So as always, thank you so much for listening. We'll see you again next week. And as always, I hope you guys are staying safe and sane.
Bye.
Goodbye.